Hi, I'm Carla D. Tillery, and welcome to the Chair Chronicles. I'm your life coach and your favorite auntie. You know, that aunt that is so not afraid to tell you the truth and help you see things just a little clearer, and you love her advice. Well, as a certified life coach with over 2 decades of experience, I'm very passionate about helping you find your happiness. So pull up a chair and let's have a talk. All right, we have another exciting topic today.
Yes, we're ready. We're ready.
All right.
What's the topic?
So we're going to be talking about what things you wish your parents told you about life.
Oh. Do you have time?
Right.
Yes.
And so I actually looked up some. So, because, my parents watch this, so I have to be careful.
You can't do, yeah, exactly. Like, what?
They listen in.
Right.
So why don't you go first, and then I'll share a few of mine, and we'll let our listeners know what we found out.
And then we want to hear from you. One of them is, other people's opinion doesn't matter.
Ooh, yes. Other people's opinions doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
And that's a good kind of lesson to teach, because I think sometimes we hinge on everybody else's ideas and thoughts about our life, what we should do, and it then hinders you from really developing your own kind of independence and affirmation of what you feel you need to do.
Right. I mean,
nothing wrong with good counsel.
Right. There's a difference. Right.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. And sometimes what we do is we put our own thoughts and our own way of thinking about things on the back burner so we can hear from other people. And we think that what their truth is for us is gospel.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I do know, I have some people that just ask everybody, though.
Right.
I mean, they're asking everybody.
Right.
And so then sometimes when they come to me, and then before they kind of hear what I'm saying, then it was like, oh, and so-and-so said I should do this, and so-and-so else said I should do this. And I'm like, you don't need my advice.
You got it from everybody else.
Because listen, the first thing Auntie gonna say is, baby, you can't listen to everybody.
Right. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. So how about you? Okay. How about you? What do you have?
All right, here we go. Take time to enjoy the journey. It can't always be about the next dollar.
Wow. That's a really good one.
And I think I see this a lot. It shows up, I think, particularly in areas or families that struggle a lot. You don't see them take time enjoying life.
Right.
And so you end up mimicking that.
Right.
Nothing wrong with a hustle, because I'm all about the hustle.
Right.
But you've got to find some time to still enjoy life and appreciate all of these things that are here on earth, because there's one time around on here this.
This is it.
And so if you don't find time to enjoy it, you just live your life working for the dollar.
Right. Right.
And I get it. You need a little bit of the dollar to spend the dollar.
But I have this mantra: work hard, play harder.
Right.
So there has to be a balance. And I think, especially if we, grew up watching our parents and they just work.
Right.
And you're like, well, did they enjoy themselves?
Because some families never know what it's like to take a vacation or to even spend time outside enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah.
And so it can be that model that you have to be careful and conscious about and reiterate that we're still, enjoy the journey.
There's a lot of life.
There's a lot of life to live.
Yeah.
And most people, I shouldn't say most people, but I've certainly have heard that people that know that they're about to pass away.
Right.
And you ask them and they're always telling,
I wish I
have
had
no
done.
regrets. I wish I had done. I wish I had done.
Yeah.
So and it's really about family and seeing things. Very seldom is it about, I wish I had saved a little bit more money.
Right.
I mean, we want to save money, but that's not what they're saying on their deathbed.
Right.
They're saying they wish they had spent more time with family.
There you go.
They wish they had traveled or seen other places.
Right. Wow. And my next one is actually connected to that same thing.
What you got?
It says, decisions should not be based about money alone.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be what fuels you when you're making a decision.
Right.
So that's like when you, I've met someone who quit a job, a very lucrative job, and they had no prospect for another one. And I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you?
I don't know if Ani would tell you to do that though.
Exactly.
But have something in plan B.
And they said it. Their decision wasn't based about money. It wasn't about money for them. It was just this inner knowing. And, you know, that was a couple of years ago. So suffice it to say, they're doing very well now, and they're doing something that they love, and they're actually making money, making more money. But the decision wasn't based on, you know, money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I think that has to deal with taking risk, I think, in many cases. And I think sometimes we're different from our parents, right?
Yeah.
So our parents may have a certain level of risk, and then you start to develop your own level of risk.
Right.
And certainly that's a high risk to say no to a lucrative job.
Right.
And then try to figure out how do you do that. And everybody can't take that kind of risk.
No.
So that's...
Yeah. We grew up in that era where you go to school, you graduate, you go to college, or you have some kind of trade, or you go into the service, and you get that good job, and you stay there until retirement.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That was pretty much my path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's some people that can take risk and land very well on their feet.
Right.
And then there are others that have to get up.
Right.
They have to get up.
Yeah.
So this is all subjective. I mean, I don't know if there's a right or wrong.
No,
but,
I don't think it is.
But it's interesting to see what some people's experiences are and some of the things that they wish they had been told.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you have?
Okay. That everything you learn in school is absolute nonsense. And to not hold on to any of it after graduation. How many times have you heard, even watching like TV shows, and they said, why do I have to learn algebra? I'm never going to use it.
This is true. Or you get a degree. Let's just be clear. You go to college, you spend money, you get a degree, and you don't use it. You end up in a career that is totally outside of what you have. It's like, why did I go and study that? Why did I get a degree in that?
But I mean, we grow up learning, right? That go to school, get your education. You got to do well. So, which means doing well in algebra, right? And then in some cases, there are a lot of occupations that never use algebra.
This is true.
But I guess there's some things about different principles and concepts about just the academic environment, the philosophical things that we're supposed to hold on to, about discipline and time management and taking on challenges, learning new skills, right?
Right. That's a really good one.
But I tried to fix that one up.
You fixed that really well. This sounds familiar to us, right? Yeah.
Right. You know, I can always find, you know, the light in a dark place.
Yes, but that was a really good one.
Yeah.
We have these well, I won't call them useless skills and things that we've learned, but you're just like, when am I going to use that?
What are you going to use it for? Yeah, you got to kind of step out of that. There's some other things that we're learning.
Yes. Okay, what's the next one? All
right,
we got some good ones.
Okay. How to deal with life when not having a good day turns into not having a good month or even a good year. When I saw that one, I was like, yeah, that's a good one, because we talk about dealing with a difficult moment, but we never talk about when that extends for a long period of time, how to deal with it. I don't even know if there's an answer to that. Like, I don't even know how to tell a child who hasn't developed, who's not like mature. Even giving them an answer, what do they do with it? Right. Some things you just learn in life. But that one is a tough one, because I think most adults can say there's been some season where it felt like it was just one thing after the next, after the next.
Yeah. And it's heavy. It's heavy because sometimes you feel like you're the only one that is going through something like that. It's like, okay, am I, is there somebody around with a voodoo doll, sticking pins in it or something? But it's true. It's like, how do you teach that? Is there a way to say, life is going to throw you some curveballs? Is that a nicer way to say that? Listen, there's going to be some periods of time that are going to throw you for a loop, but you can make it. You can make it out of it. You can,
Right. And does softening it up dilute what they really are going to experience? Right. And that's that kind of balance that I think every parent tries to figure out with their child, or anybody who's just giving advice. I mean, this is certainly not just geared, tailored specific just to parents, because I think if you have people that you mentor in your life and things like that, you're a part of them learning,
right, and
learning how to deal with life and how do you handle that, and what do you say. And it's tough because I think you have to know the individual, and because depending on their strengths or what they need to work on may determine how you respond to that question.
Right.
It's not cut and dry. It's not one thing.
I don't think one size fits all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good one.
That's a good one. That's one we could talk about all day.
Yeah.
How to handle life when it's not just a good day, but it's not a good month. It's not a good year.
Be on the lookout for that podcast.
Yeah, we should add that.
That's in our pocket. That's in our pocket.
All right, I got another one.
Okay.
I wish my parents had told me the truth about things that had occurred in the family and how they would impact me. I'd rather be hurt by the truth than lies.
Now, this one is definitely one that we can definitely unpack, that there are family secrets. And we think about the era in which some of our parents grew up in. It's you keep this in the family. You don't tell. This is about our reputation. This is about respecting boundaries as especially as children. As young adults. You're certain things you're not supposed to be privy to.
Right.
And somehow, some way, they leak out later on in life, and people are left with, what do we do with this information?
Right.
That's heavy. That's a heavy one.
That is extremely heavy. And like you said, the family secrets, sometimes they can run real deep and then have a very long lasting impact once things are starting to reveal. And the light kind of gets turned on some of those dark places.
Right.
And you don't know how the person is going to respond. Each child, each family member may respond to it totally different. Some want to know. Some are like, leave me in the dark. I don't want to know.
Right.
The less I know, the better. And then the others are like, I wish I had known because it would help me understand this.
Why?
Why this? Why. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's one that is really a hard subject to grapple with, because in certain instances, like you said, there are things that have happened in families that have been so traumatic that withholding it wasn't meant to tell a lie, but it was like for protection.
Yes.
But at what cost? During that time, it may have been to protect, but if it's revealed later on, and you have generations later that are dealing with this, and what do they do with that?
And I don't know if it's similar to addressing the issue about, like, when do you tell your kids about sex? And a lot of therapists and counselors will tell you tell enough that's age appropriate.
Right.
I don't know if that model works with everything.
Right.
Like, can you just say certain things to sort of explain,
right,
and then as they mature, as they get older, then you add more details, more specifics,
right,
understanding their capacity to handle and understanding.
And I think that's the other part of it too that we have to be careful of is, how fragile someone might be to hear something that was traumatic in their family, or that might shake them. What good will come of it by revealing it also has to be, to me, has to be taken into consideration as well. What do you do with this information once it's public? If it involves something where the people are deceased, so there's no way to get answers, or if that person is still around, depending upon what it is. Right. If it's something that's egregious and you know that person is still alive. And you found out the secret that was held about this person. Well, you see them at gatherings.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there could be a lot of shakeups in families when family secrets are revealed, and depending on what it is, man, it could make or break you.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because I think it depends on, I think sometimes we always try to do what we wish our parents had done
Right.
with that next generation
Yes.
or with people that we know
Right.
that trust us and we have influence over.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think in this case, I would not be surprised if that individual is not totally like open and honest about everything with their children or with people in their life.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Because we were in that generation, and actually, from ourselves knowing what we want for our children, I want to be honest with them. I want them to come to me with things that, I might not have been able to go to my parents about because I was nervous or felt some kind of way, So, you have to be prepared when they feel that way.
You have to be prepared.
They can come to you with some things and you're like,
right.
Okay.
Right.
And I want you to be that honest with me.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that one is a tough one. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you something about my family. and this is just a joke among my family because it is a serious issue for other people. So, growing up, siblings, we're kind of, we can say certain things just to kind of get that little to you, right?
Right.
And so, so my sister had told me one time, and she probably will deny this. I think we were young, and she was like, you were adopted, and I know, like I said, this is a serious thing because there are many issues that can come with that when people find out, right? But my sister was joking, and again, this is just among my family, and so. That has become the joke growing up that whether I fit into my family, right? Was I adopted or was I not?
Right.
So now, it comes up and I tell my parents, listen, don't tell me if I'm not. I mean, if I am adopted, don't tell me. I don't
want to know. Right.
That's what I meant. Right. Don't tell me.
Right.
Just leave it alone. Don't call me. Don't send me no letters. Don't put it in no wills.
It's okay.
It's okay. Don't tell me.
Right.
Look, I'm okay. Knowing what I know, let me believe what I believe. Don't tell me now. That's our joke. That's our joke.
But I like that. I like that. That's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute. Shame on you, sis.
I know. She's gonna get me.
Yes.
And the last one, I got one more for you. Okay, this one. I can't wait to see what you think about this. Okay. I wish my parents had told me how stupid it is to own a large home. I said, really?
Okay.
Okay. So I figured out what that person was trying to say. I kept reading. It says, growing up, we had a very tiny home with 7 people living in it.
Okay.
It was fine, but I did not know what a blessing it was because I was too focused on the fact that we had no money. But we lived outside. We did everything outside. We used the house to eat and sleep, and that was about it. Having lived in very big houses as an adult, I think that small and simple is the best way to live.
There you go. With some context behind it.
So I kept digging because I was like, well, why did this person say that? And I was trying to understand it.
Got it.
So it was really about just the simplicity of life. Yeah. And when you're young, you don't know how to even appreciate those things.
Right. So bigger is not always better.
Bigger is not always better. And then somebody's got to clean it.
And when it starts to fall apart,
somebody's got to clean it. Somebody's got to maintain it.
Right.
And if you've got the means to do it, that's great. But I know there's this big thing now that's occurring about tiny homes and tiny houses.
Yeah.
And there's some on HGTV that I take a look at.
The tiny houses.
And it's so interesting. Like people redo like a bus, like a school bus, and redo it as their home.
Yeah.
And make it work.
And it's amazing. And you're like, wow, I never thought of that. Yeah.
Right.
And it's simple.
It's simple. And sometimes we don't know how to keep life simple.
Yes.
So that it doesn't get complicated and stress us out.
Right. That's a really good one. That's a really, really good one. And I think I think with what's happened with the pandemic, it has brought some of us back to what's simple. The simplicity, not feeling like I always have to be in the stores or I always have to be buying something or doing something. Just being. Wow.
Right. And finding intentional ways of staying connected with family.
Yeah.
And people that you love.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good
That was
one.
a
It
really-
was funny, and I was like, "What? It's stupid to own a large home."
Yes.
Tell that to the person that's in one room. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, usually
Yeah.
you're like, "I need a little bit more
More
space."
space. Yeah.
And the homes now, open concepts and all of that.
Right.
And here it is. This person is looking back, saying, "Wow, I wish I had kept it simple."
Yeah. And how much fun it was that they were
Right.
together.
Together.
They were together.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Those are some good life lessons.
So
Yeah.
listen, what
Yes.
what do you think? What do you wish your parents had told you?
Yes.
We would absolutely love to hear from you. We could go on and on. I think there's, it varies so much based on how you were raised, what you were exposed to, what your experiences were.
Yes.
And sometimes that cultivates like a lesson.
Yes.
And some of those things that you wish you had known.
Yes.
Some things will only come with time though.
That's right.
So we want to hear from you. So please share your comments with us. Send in what your reflections are about this very topic. And guess what? We will share those things on an upcoming podcast. So make sure that you stay tuned. And as always, stay connected with us on
The Chair Chronicles.
Those were good.